In our last video, we talked about the broken window fallacy. We learned that breaking a bakery window doesn't magically stimulate the economy just because the baker has to hire a glazier. It just makes the baker poorer. But here is a strange phenomenon in the world of economics. Even people who understand the broken window fallacy on a small scale somehow completely forget it when you scale it up.
When a window breaks, it's a loss. But when an entire city is leveled by war or natural disaster, suddenly the story changes. Some politicians will tell you that building more tanks is good for the economy and that rebuilding leveled cities will give it a boost. It sounds convincing, doesn't it? But make no mistake, this is just our old friend, the broken window fallacy, dressed up in a new suit and grown fat beyond recognition.
Today, we are going to look at why destruction never equals prosperity, and we're going to dismantle the dangerous myth that wars or disasters are somehow good for the economy.
The first mistake people make when they look at the aftermath of a war is that they confuse need with demand. When a war wipes out entire neighborhoods, it undeniably creates a massive post-war need. People need new houses, new roads, and new factories. But in economics, a need is not the same thing as effective demand. For a need to become actual economic demand, it has to be backed up by purchasing power. The more war destroys, the more it impoverishes a nation. It creates desperation, not demand.
Now, let's address the grain of truth in the destruction fallacy. Just like the broken window gave the glazier a job, the destruction of a city will create a massive boom for the construction industry. If you are a bricklayer, a plumber, or an architect, a post-war rebuilding phase looks like an economic miracle. You are swamped with work. But this is not a net increase in total demand. It is simply a diversion of demand.
Think about it. A nation that has had its cities bombed must build new houses. They have no choice. But when all that manpower, capital, and productive energy is poured into building houses, that is energy and money that cannot be used for anything else. If you have to spend your savings just to rebuild the home you already had, you now have less money to spend on a new car, a better education for your kids, or starting a new business. Every time business is artificially boosted in one direction to replace something destroyed, it is proportionately reduced in another direction. We are running as fast as we can just to get back to where we started, instead of moving forward.
This diversion of resources leads to another massive problem. War violently alters the structure of the economy. When a nation goes to war or undergoes a massive rebuilding phase, the balance of industries gets completely warped. The industries favored by the crisis, like heavy manufacturing and construction, swell up to an unnatural size. But what happens when the backed-up need is finally met? What happens when the houses are finally rebuilt?
Those temporarily favored industries inevitably have to shrink back down. Factories close, construction workers are laid off, and capital has to be painfully reallocated to the industries that were neglected for years. This creates massive economic friction, unemployment, and instability. The boom of rebuilding is a sugar rush. The crash that follows is the hangover. We altered the entire structure of our economy to deal with a tragedy.
All of these fallacies, from the diversion of resources to the structural warping, happen because we forget one fundamental rule of economics. Supply and demand are not two separate things. They are two sides of the exact same coin.
Because we use money, this truth is often hidden behind a veil of dollars and cents. But fundamentally, the supply of the thing you make is all you have to offer in exchange for the things you want. If you are a farmer, the surplus wheat you grow, beyond what you eat yourself, is what you have to offer for a car. You grow that extra wheat precisely so you can trade it for a vehicle. And on the flip side, the cars the auto workers build are what they have to offer for the farmer's wheat. That exchange is the basis of it all. Money just makes the trade easier. The fundamentals don't change. This is the beauty of the modern division of labor. We produce to consume.
Now, apply this to war and destruction.
If your factories are blown up, if your farms are burned, if your capital is destroyed, your ability to supply has been wiped out. And because your supply is wiped out, your demand is wiped out. You can no longer produce, therefore you can no longer buy.
The belief that genuine prosperity can be born from the ashes of destruction is a total illusion. True economic progress doesn't come from destroying things and spending years replacing them. It comes from keeping what we have and using our precious time and resources to build the next great thing.
Thanks for watching. If you want to understand the foundational idea behind this video, make sure you check out our previous video on the Broken Window Fallacy right here. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.